Welcome to the Best Fork and Friend podcast. Y'all ready for the show tonight? Yeah, I'm ready. All right. I want you to meet all my friends. Let's meet them. We're best forking friends. We're not spooning or knifing. We're forking, not fighting. We're talking about forks. You use at the dinner table, baby. We're not spooning or knifing. We're forking, not fighting. Yeah.
Welcome to Best Forking Friends, episode 4. I'm your host tonight, Jesi, and we have Paul, Shane, and Kyle joining us too. And so I'm going to see how you guys are doing tonight, just to start out.
This is Paul. I'm doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to hanging with you guys for a couple hours and producing some content.
Nice.
Good evening, everyone. This is Shane, back for my second podcast. We're looking forward to it, and just looking to hear what everybody has to say tonight.
This is Kyle, and I'm here for my first official podcast, and I'm doing good. Happy for the weekend.
Yeah, me too. TGIF, right?
Hell yeah.
Right?
Because work sucks sometimes.
Man, prison life sucks.
Not being in prison, working at prison, right?
Well, it depends on how you want to take it.
Well, either way,
we know
he's
you're not in prison.
Well,
I get furloughed every night.
I mean, technically he is in prison, but
Yeah, but let's not let our listeners think that he's in prison.
They busted me out, y'all, so I could be here with you.
So would you say that that's your biggest achievement in life?
What's that?
Busting out of prison?
Daily. Don't forget that part.
That's our first question. What's your biggest achievement or award that you've earned in your lifetime?
Man, I don't really have an achievement or award I'd be proud of.
I don't believe that in the slightest.
No.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, I've gotten awards over the years, but I'm like nothing that stands out as something that's spectacular or that somebody else could achieve the same thing. I'm proud of where I am. I'm glad that I went back to school and I got out of the Army and went to nursing school and I have a good career and I get to retire in 9 more years.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a little brag?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying I'm officially going to retire in 9 years, but I'm going to officially retire from law enforcement in 9 years, and then I'll work on something else.
But you can retire.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the brag.
I will walk out those doors with a
that's
pension.
The mellow brag. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll walk out those doors with a pension, and I'll look towards a secondary career until I don't want to work anymore, and I'm going to hunt the rest of my life, you know?
And I can think
But-
about that in 25 years, so it's okay.
Right.
I can never think about that because let's be real, I'm not going to be able to retire ever.
My choices are to retire young or die working, so I will retire young.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
So, Shane, what
Yeah.
about you, bud? Same question.
So whenever that question was posed, I was thinking about that because I was like, oh man, what have I done with my life that, like I've been rewarded or anything? And I had a couple of things that came up. In like 6th grade, I participated in the Greenville Optimist speech contest, and I got 2nd place only by default because the junior high person didn't show up. So I should have only gotten 3rd, but I got 2nd. So I mean, that was all right. But then like looking back, I found the speech and I was like, oh man, this thing is horrible. Wow, this thing is garbage.
Well, I'm very proud of you accepting the award on behalf of somebody's sloppy seconds.
Yes, exactly. But then as I kept going, like I haven't really done anything for like work wise. Like, yeah, I got an award for helping out a customer at a previous employment, and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool because everybody's like always trying to get it. But honestly, the biggest thing I ever won that I'm like probably the most proud of is my junior year of high school. I was voted most improved player for soccer, but then also voted Mr. Hustle. So to like get those hand in hand in the same year, on top of us winning conference for the first time outright in Greenville high school history, and then also going to regionals for the 3rd time in a row and winning, and it was pretty prestigious and like
Yeah, and some people are just naturally gifted and don't have to put any effort into it, and some people they shine by putting all that extra work and effort into it.
Yeah. So getting those and to to put in correlation, my freshman year of high school, I ran a 12-minute mile.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Nice.
And
that's a jog.
I think that was a gracious 12-minute mile.
That's a brisk walk.
Whereas my junior year, I actually ended up finishing in the top 2 for the mile run for the high school team. So,
He was speed walking like the moms on the side of the road.
oh no, I was a very fat, chubby boy who had no endurance because all he did was play video games.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's where I'm at as a 42-year-old.
I was just gonna say that sounds a lot like
Yeah.
me right
Oh,
now.
I've reverted back to that now. Like I've reverted back to
I'm
freshman
also
year.
a chubby 14-year-old boy.
I mean, no judgment.
Sometimes I feel like there's a parachute on my back, and it's dragging me, and I'm trying to drag it.
Are you sure it's not your underwear, or your diaper?
Yeah.
What about you, Kyle?
we were bringing all our crap to the curb for spring cleanup and going up and down the basement stairs, and 2, 3, 4 times shouldn't matter. But I'm like, man, I actually feel this. That's how badly out of shape I am.
Oh yeah, it
So-
does. Last weekend, 2 days in a row, gardening outside. I was wrecked for the next 3 days.
Yeah,
My back was a mess.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm old.
Well, I'm not.
Damn.
I'm not going to accept that. I've been feeling a little fatigued quicker than usual, and you guys that know me know I worked out for like the last 5 years and then took a year off, and I'm getting back at it. I'm not going to accept this crap.
My mind
not gonna accept
doesn't
this
want to
crap.
accept that my body is old. But my body's like, no, ma'am.
And as soon as you slow down, that's when all the aches and pains in your joints are
Yeah.
ridiculous, and you can't tolerate it, and you're like, this sucks. If this is what getting old's like, I don't want to do that.
I
Yeah.
agree, and also I think exercising sucks too. So
Yeah, that too.
that's my problem. Is which
But
I think sucks more on a given day is
But there's different levels of effort you can put into exercise that are still going to make your joints feel better, and that's where I got to get back to. I'm not trying to go hard like I'm 20 again. When I was in the Army and things, I'm not trying to go there.
Just get
Or
some
even when I was
stamina back.
35, 7 years ago, man, I was doing a lot. I was running like 3-4 days a week, doing 130 pull-ups in 12 minutes, and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I can't do that right now.
All the flexing
But I
tonight,
didn't.
huh?
No, I'm just saying, like,
and I'm sitting here thinking I just don't like to sweat.
when I did that, when I was putting that effort in, it wasn't like a max effort, but it was. I felt better. My neck felt better. My knees felt better,
No, I think that's great.
and I
yeah.
gotta get back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's quit talking about old people shit.
I
This
was
is
gonna say,
depressing.
we should let
Right
we should
now-
let Jesse finish answer that, and then we take a brief segue
Yeah,
and go
right
back into
now,
that a little
I
bit.
feel like
Or
we're
Kyle.
shoot-
Or
I
wait,
want
Kyle.
to.
I haven't answered the question.
Oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
go
My
ahead,
bad,
Kyle.
Kyle.
Greatest achievements. So, if I think about it professionally, I've won the CEO award a couple of times. If I think about it outside of work, I've been elected to a political position here in town, and that's cool. But I think the biggest
I cast a lot of votes for you that I shouldn't have.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I
Were they
appreciate that.
deceased names or?
We're not gonna go into that.
Okay,
rabbit
okay,
hole.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep-
Non-disclosure.
we'll just sweep it under the mattress. Never mind. All right. Continue.
Well, if I decide to run again, I know I can count on you. That's
You
all.
can for at least 150
Yeah.
votes.
Yeah. Well, that's a good margin there. It's just, I think I get the top person gets about 500 votes in those elections.
Yeah,
So.
we got your back, bud.
Yeah. So if 150 for Paul, 150 for Shane, 150 for Jesse.
Yep.
That
You're secure.
I'm
I
good.
mean, you've already.
Yeah. That's already
like
most of the people that
That's the
vote.
majority. They're gonna be like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
This is a little off topic, but I just want you guys to know, like, if I live to retire, I'm probably gonna run for coroner, Greenville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Do it.
Well,
Look at my
Tony-
boy.
Having a medical background, a law enforcement background, I think that'd be something I'd be really interested to. Tony's not going to be doing it forever.
Yeah, he's gonna have to retire at some point.
I bet he'll do it until the day I retire. I got 9 years left.
And I bet if you
Well, there you
talk
go.
to
You
him,
should talk to him about it.
he might even
And I know
endorse
Tony.
you. He might even endorse you, which
Tell
would
him-
be.
And his wife, we all know him. We all know Betty.
you can tell
Good
him.
people, really good people.
Did you know that you're going to retire in 9 years, Tony?
And not a day before. I will pay you monthly to keep that.
But he's probably looking for a successor, so you should probably
Probably.
let him know that you're interested in that so he can start getting that ready.
I think that's a position, and I hate to cut you off of what you were talking about, but I think that's a position in your community that it requires somebody that's seen some stuff, you know. And I
Yeah.
think that my time in the military and my time at the prison and law
Yeah.
enforcement
Medical
and
field.
medical field, I've seen plenty of death, and I'm pretty good at just accepting it.
Yeah.
And so that's something I always thought would be pretty neat as a secondary job.
Well, you'd have my 150 votes.
Well, thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, you'd have my 150.
By then, you might have 300, girl.
I mean, someone's got to pick up your 150.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Well,
I guess
We'd
Kyle-
have to split
Do-
between us,
Do,
Shane.
do you think
Okay.
anyone would think it was weird that my number of votes and Paul's number of votes would be the exact same?
Well, somebody would actually have to do a deep dive. And I don't think that's going to happen.
It's got to be a recount.
This isn't Arizona. You know,
Did you want to finish what you were saying with your achievements? I
yeah.
think you were going to talk about your personal
Yeah,
achievement.
but more than even those two, and this is gonna sound, I got to give the cliche answer, but really the achievement that I value the most is my family.
Yeah.
So my wife and my kids, and I haven't killed my kids, and that's a pretty big achievement. And my wife hasn't killed me,
It's a
and so
daily
that's a pretty big
achievement,
achievement too. So, but that they're what's most important to me. So they're my biggest achievement beyond all that other stuff. So
Yeah, that's where my head was at with it too, Kyle. So as far as like professional, personal growth or whatever achievement, I view my bachelor's degree as probably my biggest achievement for that piece, because it took me a while to get there eventually. Like my life took a whole different path. So I, was doing that late and doing it when my kids were babies and online and working full time and
you're going
the
through a
whole
lot of
thing.
shit during that phase.
Yeah, I was going through a lot, and I still was able to finish with honors and get a degree to better not only my life but the life for my children, and that was really important for me. And then the personal achievement thing, the family is really something I value a lot. Really happy with where we are in life and how successful my kids are already, and they're baby adults is what we call it. So seeing them, become good people,
Responsible citizens.
responsible, good people, is a really good feeling. So,
Yeah, good kids.
yeah, I think we all do. So along your achievement path, we've talked about different things that have impacted our lives. What advice have you gotten over the years that's really stuck with you?
Mine's not so serious of advice.
Yeah. It can be funny
but
too. It doesn't have to be serious.
One of my coworkers and friends, you do your best and you put your best effort forward. And I know I'm the guy when I'm at work, they all know that I don't stop and I keep working all day. And some days you don't get the credit that's due. You know what I mean? And the other guy can come in and just half-ass it all day. And when the supervisors come down on you because somebody's breathing down their neck, somebody once told me, they can't take your name, they can't take your birthday. Don't worry about it, And I kind of try to remember that because you can only do so much with your time, And as long as you're going home at the end of the day, knowing you put your best foot forward, I try to think that I've been successful. You know what I mean? So they can't take your birthday. I like that.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Shane, what are you thinking?
Honestly, that was one whenever I was looking, and even just whenever you said it again, I was trying to think, what advice have I ever really got? And I mean, I can't really pin down one or anything. Really, I do a lot of Instagram reels. So seeing Instagram reels, there's always a lot of motivational quotes and advice that's on there. And a lot of those, it the algorithm speaks to me, so like it obviously knows what I need to hear. So whenever one of those pops up and like it really hits home, like I usually share it with my buddy Joel, and he responds back like, "Oh man, that's deep." But if I had to pick one from recent years or like from my personal life that I actually can truly remember, and this is probably the reason why I should pick this one, because I've remembered it since my freshman year of high school, and ironically, it's from my soccer coach. It was after a really shitty game. We lost by one to a team that was garbage, and we shouldn't have even lost to. But we had seniors who decided to go out and get drunk the night before, and and one of our guys was like, "Man, I played like garbage, blah blah blah." And the coach came over and said, "Well, did you have fun? Yeah. Did you try hard? Yeah. Well, that's all that matters." He's like, "At the end of the day, it's still a game. You got to come out and play the sport that you love, that you've been putting time in. Yeah, we didn't get the result that we wanted, but try hard, have fun." And like the more I thought about that, like thinking about it now and just talking through it, it was like, that's really what I kind of live my life by. Like, I do try to work hard, and I do try to have my fun. And I feel like whenever I miss on one of them, I feel like my day is incomplete, or my day is in a shambles, or I go to bed like wanting. Whereas the days whenever I like today, I wouldn't say I worked hard, but I got my work done. I did the work to the best of my ability today, and now I'm having my fun being here with you guys. And I've had a pretty shitty week, but this is making the week all that much better now.
So, the advice, it sounds like it's almost like you've put too much pressure on yourself
Yeah.
at times, where you're not feeling like your day's complete without hitting those certain marks.
Yeah.
That's a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, there's, as I think about it too, like there's principles we live our life by, and sometimes when you're feeling weak, I think of things that were on my wall when I was a kid, and I had, about with the Lord all things are possible, and I try to keep that kind of mindset sometimes, even though I didn't grow up in the church. That was something that was on the wall of my bedroom for years, or the fact that God's our sanctuary, things like that. Those are all inspirational things that I try to keep in mind to keep myself positive on a regular basis. And it's impossible to be positive all the time, but
Yeah.
I think I do a pretty good job.
What about you,
Kyle?
Kyle?
So I think some of the best advice I ever got was to remember that decisions are made by those who show up, and that I should never doubt that a small group of thoughtful people can change the world, because that's the only thing that ever has. And that's part of why me, as an introvert who hates conflict, ran for political office.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy to just be pissed off at the world, and it's not happening. Things aren't happening the way I want it to happen. Just getting out on
Sit
social
idly
media
by.
and bitch and moan about whatever. But you get in there and you try to actually do something about it. You don't always get it. You don't always get what you want, but you're there and you can influence, and you can help shape things, and that's
Have a more positive impact than others too.
have an actual impact, right?
A direct impact, yeah.
Yeah. And that comes from that kind of mindset, that came from those, that kind of advice is, if you're not there, it's like Hamilton, I want to be in the room where it happens. Why? Because otherwise I'm a little powerless about what happens around me,
Yeah.
right? And it just happens to me instead of influencing what happens. And so I think that is some of the best advice that I was able to get in my life, and it's certainly impacted my life. So
Yeah. That's really good. You guys have way better answers than I could come up with. I thought of a really stupid one. And everybody says this one, but I remember, for whatever reason, one of my junior high teachers, she was she was my English teacher, and she was kind of like a straightforward lady, like, she kind of told it like it was. But she taught us about assume one day on the chalkboard. I'm
Don't
sure
wanna
everybody
assume
knows where
things.
this is going. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she wrote it on the chalkboard and was like, "This is what assume means," and she circled the ass and said, "It makes a this out of you and me," and because it spells assume. And I don't know, that just always like stuck with me, even though you hear it other places. But as like a junior high kid, I'd never heard that until that time.
But as
So-
adults, we don't rely on assumptions because of stuff like that. Yeah,
Exactly,
those
and
lessons.
those lessons, yeah, exactly.
Or at least
so,
if we're smart.
Yeah.
yeah. So that just has always. So when I hear assume or someone say that like phrase, I think back to that teacher in that moment.
I have the same exact memory.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
How it like triggers back to that. So, and that actually, so I really liked that class. So what was, in junior high, what was you guys' like best or worst junior high classes?
Let's start backwards and let Kyle answer this
Yeah.
question first.
Oh, but you went out of order.
I did, but it was a good segue.
It was.
Welcome to the hot seat.
It was a good segue. Junior high. Man, junior high sucks. Just in general.
I love junior high.
Oh, it was the worst 3 years of my life. 8th grade wasn't too bad. But let's see.
The great thing is there's no right or wrong answer because we don't know anything
don't
about
know.
your
Yeah,
junior high.
I could just make something up
Yeah,
and you
see?
wouldn't know, but
Yeah.
but I can't do that.
Yeah, you
so.
can. Do it.
Um,
Do it.
So, in 7th grade, it's more about the teacher. All classes are good based off of the teacher more
Yeah.
than the subject matter, at least in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a high school story that's better, but junior high. His name was Mr. Peliquin. And he was a language arts teacher, and he had these vocab tests every week, and he made it sort of a competition, and he kind of tapped into people's competitive spirit. And I don't know why it mattered to me, but I just wanted to do the best on these vocab quizzes. And so you do like 10 words a week, and then at the month you do all the last 4. And then at the end of the semester, you did all of them. And anyway, so I learned a lot in that class, except one semester, and this is why he was my favorite. I did good on the vocab. I kind of slacked off on other stuff. And my progress report was, shall we say, it needed a signature from my parents.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, Kyle's got a record.
Funny that you should say that. Well, I don't like conflict, so I didn't want my parents to see this progress report. And so I found a way to get a signature on a note, not on the progress report, but on a note without
You naughty
Scandalous.
guy.
without my mom realizing what she was signing.
He's not perfect.
No, I'm not
Kyle
perfect.
is a sinner.
I am not perfect. I am just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was apparently obvious enough that something was weird about this note and the signature being in a different handwriting than the note, that he reached out to my mom, and she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, it's your signature. Anyway, I got in trouble. But he used that as a character building exercise and didn't just come down hard on me like I was
A bad kid.
a bad kid.
Yeah.
And it taught me, I mean, it was like, that's basically forgery and but, and it taught me the value of
Honesty.
of owning up to your own work.
Being accountable.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that I took with me. right? And so I still think about that. And so, and he was a tough class, and he was, but he was. I appreciate that, and so, not only did I enjoy these vocab tests for the competitive, but then he didn't bust me hard on. I mean, it was a double detention, but all things considered, that's not that big of a deal, you know.
Do you still carry guilt over what you did?
He forgave me. I asked forgiveness, and he forgave me, so I don't.
Yeah. I have a bad habit of mulling over stuff in my head, even decades
With regret.
later. Yeah.
Well, I do that with some things. That's why I ask for forgiveness.
Well,
for
sometimes
things.
it's just like the stupidest things, though. And I'm just like, why am I torturing myself over this stupid thing, but I can't get it out of my head? It just, like, eats me from the inside.
For me,
ridiculous.
it's for that kind of thing. Things that I really regret, even if I've intellectually in my, when I'm conscious, I've said I've kind of dealt with it. I'll dream about it, and I'll feel all that guilt and shame
All over again.
through the dreams, and I do not know how to stop it.
Yeah. See,
So-
mine
Yeah.
is live in my head on, like, while I'm awake.
Yeah, and the worst time when those types of moments happen is when you lay down to go to bed at night, and your brain won't quit spinning.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
when that
100
crap
miles
comes
an
back
hour.
to
That's
get you,
every night
Yes.
for me.
and that's when
Yes.
it comes back to get you, man.
I literally have, and Sarah's had to learn how to cope with this. My coping mechanism is I cannot sleep unless I'm sick or something, unless I have something to listen to that
To drown out your brain.
to drown out my brain. But I'm really particular. If Sarah told this story, she would say it in a very different way. But I'm very particular. It has to be something that I'm familiar with and comfortable with, but isn't boring to me. Because if it's boring, that's annoying, and that keeps me awake. But it can't be something too new or that I haven't seen very
keep
much.
your attention.
Because it'll keep my attention too much. And so I'll stay awake. So I have to be able to basically have my eyes shut, listen to the story,
So it has to be something like Toto.
and play it in my head.
Lord of the Rings.
I could do it with Lord of the Rings, okay?
My
But-
guy.
But my go-to,
guy.
one of my go-tos, my go-to right now is Star Trek. I can just
Oh.
play, not the newer ones, they're too new, but
The originals.
the original series isn't my thing. That was my mom's thing. But the Next Generation and Voyager and Deep Space Nine and even Enterprise, I'll just rotate through them. Or, and anyone who knows me well knows this is going to come out, The West Wing. I can just put that on. And the only problem with The West Wing is I find it funny.
Yeah.
And so I know what's coming sometimes and laugh. And then I giggle and I bounce the bed around, and Sarah's like, stop it. So,
So, when I was younger, I don't ever remember going to bed without a TV on. But me and Katie, over the years, we tried having a TV in our new house, and in our bedroom, that is. And we're so used to going to bed in pitch dark that I cannot. Like, if I'm sitting on the couch and I watch TV, I can doze off pretty easy. But then I get in that bed in the dark room, and I have to have it dark if I'm going to sleep. But then the thought thing happens.
Yeah,
I
me
just
too.
almost need like a sound machine. I don't
Yeah.
want the light,
Yeah.
but I do need something. And
Yeah.
I think I might buy something like that.
Yeah. I use
I don't
our
care if it's
Echo.
ocean water. I don't know. but-
Yeah, I use our Echo in our bedroom for like sleep sounds or like meditation music, just to get myself, like, my brain calmed down.
Rain on the roof, something that.
Something.
I wish
yeah.
that worked for me, but that just becomes background noise, and my brain can just filter it all out, and I will go into the shame storm regardless, right?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I'll be sitting on the couch and I'll be dozing off. I go lay in the bed, I'm awake 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
I did that
Ridiculous.
last night.
It's
All
terrible.
right. I'm
So
going to jump
crazy.
onto this segue.
Torturous.
I'm going to jump onto this real quick. So I typically deal with, like, since the time change, I have been really struggling with falling asleep. And I don't know why. I usually don't ever have an issue. Maybe it's because I'm getting older and it's harder for me to fall asleep. I don't know. Well, so I got to the point that, like, I was having pretty bad insomnia. Like, and I was telling Joel about it, like, whenever we were driving to work. And whatever it was, like, one day on TikTok, an ASMR video came on, but this girl was doing an eye exam,
What was she doing?
ASMR, and like whatever she was like, but because it was an eye exam, I was like, I'm gonna watch this because whenever I get my eyes checked, I'm always super relaxed and I'm almost always falling asleep whenever the doctor's doing their stuff.
Oh no, not me.
Well, and I think it's because they do a lot of stuff with like flashlights and like tracing, like, oh hey, I have a lightsaber chopstick that's lit up. You need to follow it or look over my left ear and follow the light like while I'm doing this. And by doing that, like I looked into it more, and now there's like a whole genre and a whole like dichotomy of everything of like people doing these like eye exam ASMRs, and I watch them now religiously, and within 10 minutes of watching them I will be passed out because 9 times out of 10 it's very soft voices, so that helps. But then I found one guy, he's Australian, and he actually has like the little machine that you put your chin on, and he's like, oh look, put your chin on, and he starts doing like the whole mirror thing. It's just so relaxing for me because I don't have to do anything other than follow the directions and let them shine lights in my face, and it knocks me out.
That's how I am at the barber shop, man. Those clippers come on.
Yeah, and
That
there's ASMRs that have people like this. It's gross just because thinking about the title, they call it lice exams, like where they're looking for lice, but they're like on wigs, and like they have the
little chopstick.
yeah, they
things.
have the chopsticks, and like they have the combs that they can go through, and like they part them, and then they slowly pull them across, and like they start trying to like find lice.
See, that wouldn't really do anything for me watching it. It would if it was being done to my head, then yeah. Because whenever I go to the salon, like Paul, when I'm getting my hair washed for getting my hair styled and stuff, that is the most relaxing part to me. Or when she's like blow drying my hair, or cutting it or whatever, I'm just like so chill in the chair, just like I'm gonna fall asleep.
Oh, I doze off regularly.
Yeah.
She knows that. If I start falling asleep, she'll just go.
And I think
Correct
that's
you.
why I like the eye exam so much, because like I don't have to feel anything, because 9 times out of 10, like when you get an actual eye exam, like the only time they touch you or anything is like when they're trying to pull your eyelid down because they're just trying to check your.
You don't get the puff of air in your eyeball.
No.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, they really don't. They have a different one that actually can do the measuring without actually putting the puff on you.
I can't relate. I've never been to an eye doctor.
Oh, wow.
Dude,
Oh
it's
my
so,
gosh.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie, I love it.
I got good vision.
Yeah.
You should still go.
But you don't know that for sure.
Well, I do. I do.
Well, you should probably go.
I do Snellen exams all the time. I can read the bottom line.
Okay.
All right.
2010, bud.
All right.
All good.
All right.
But anyway,
But should we get back on track?
I would
and-
never
We
be able
can.
to. I would never be able to fall asleep at an eye exam because just us talking about eyes makes my eyes start to water.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how
yeah.
an eye exam works when they're shining bright lights in my eyes, or back when they did do the puff of air.
Mm-hmm.
Or
yeah, I
or
got
the
you.
Also,
dye.
having someone that close to my face,
Yeah.
like, never makes me comfortable.
I will say, I love my doctor. He's great. He's younger than me, so like I was really apprehensive, but I was like, nah, this guy knows what he's doing.
You go somewhere in town.
Yeah. You probably know who I'm talking about.
It's probably.
There's a video game character named after him.
That's who I go to.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. So anyway.
You want to go on to your topic
Oh yeah.
about junior high?
Oh yeah, my junior high teacher.
Yeah, best or worst class
I mean,
or
mean-
both.
Paul probably had a lot of the same ones that I had. So I don't want to do too many. Like I don't want to do like one, but at the same time, like the only one that really matters was a math teacher.
Mr.
Yeah.
P?
Yeah, Mr. P.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the best and the worst, I guess, all in one. And I think Paul will agree.
Uh-huh.
He was really good at teaching what he taught. I think he did a really good job of teaching just standard Saxon math to algebra to
Algebra half one.
yeah to kids. Even if you struggled with math, he would explain it to you that you could get it, and he also made it fun. But like the best part about it too is like the good side. If everybody did well, like I think it was A's or better, but like I was also in advanced math one year with him, so it had to be B's or better. And if everybody did that, he would sing for you. Like he'd like hand out. He'd be like, I gotta hand out your test, but first I need to sing because we all did well.
And Mrs. P was a choir instructor.
Yeah,
so.
his wife was a choir instructor, so he is god awful at singing, but he would sing like just old stupid songs, but at the same time like everybody was like super pumped and everybody was like, yeah, Mr. P's singing to us. But boy, on the flip side, if you pissed him off, oh my gosh, he would go off the rails. Like it never happened to me, but my sisters would tell me stories like he would like flip out on someone and he'd be like, you shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. Go stand on the 36 square on the right side of the room and put your nose in the circle on the chalkboard. And he would go in and draw a circle and make you put your nose on the chalkboard. And he's like, if I don't see a spot of oil on that chalkboard where your nose was, it doesn't count. You're going to do it again tomorrow. And he was like he was serious.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I had a son in his class too. So he never really, like he didn't get too crazy, but he got pretty,
Mellowed out a little bit.
but he got also pretty pissed off sometimes at us, but then also at his son whenever he messed up and didn't get a perfect day. So yeah, best and worst in one.
I was going to say, junior high for me here in Greenville, I went to the old junior high right across from Jesse's house.
Me too.
And it's, gone now. It's
Oh,
apartment
yeah.
It's
buildings.
apartments, yeah.
But I was going to mention Mr. P because I did enjoy my, I would say that everything I did academically throughout my K through 12, I mean, I pretty well just gave up in high school and just like to have a good time and play sports. So I did not excel academically in high school. But in junior high, I was really good at math, and I loved the praise that Mr. Petticord would give people when, he got a perfect on
Yeah.
your test. He's gonna celebrate it. But I was gonna say that was the most artistic part of my life too. That's when I still had a love for art, and I drew a lot. I preferred, just graphite and, pencil drawings. I love drawing animals, African animals, elephants, zebras, stuff like that. And I still keep some of those around the house. But that was also when I was in chorus, and I loved the variety shows. I did solo in our variety show to Gary, Indiana, which I still have a video recording of. And
This is all new to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know
This is all
stuff.
new.
yeah, I did a little song and dance in front of a
wow.
gymnasium full of people on a variety
Wow.
show. Yeah, sung in front of about
I didn't know
400
about the drawing
people.
either.
Yeah.
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 Katie still has. You remember the Fox and Hound?
Yeah.
So this is an interesting story, and you probably heard this before, but I remember when we first started dating. I don't know what she was upset for one day, but I saw her racing down the highway, and we'd only been dating a few months. But I'm like, I caught up to her. I'm like, where are you going? She's like, I just need to go see my mom, and she was heading to Peoria to go see her mother. And we go to her mom. I was like, let me just grab a bag. I'll go with you. I'll drive you up there. And so we go to her mom's apartment in Peoria, and that night, for some reason, because she knew I drew, she wanted me to draw something for her. And she's like, you're not going to bed until you draw me something. So I drew her a picture of the hound dog from the Fox and the Hound because she loves that movie. And she still has it. It's framed.
Aw.
Yeah,
That's sweet.
she kept it all these years. It's about 23, 4 years old now.
Sweet little surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was back in old 2001.
Okay.
But yeah, I used to love art.
Yeah.
I
That was
actually
one of-
think when we moved out of our old house, I finally think I threw away most of my portfolio that I kept for 20-something years.
Why? Why'd you
Yeah,
throw
you
it
shouldn't
out?
have done that.
I honestly, I didn't know where to put the stuff. It's not like it's framed. When I was in junior high, we all kept a portfolio.
Yeah.
We decorated ourselves, and it was just basically two big pieces of poster board that you had like taped together or something, and all your work would stay inside it. And I don't think I kept my stuff. Katie's seen it 100 times because I love my elephants. I drew like a herd of African elephants and a little baby in front. It was all pencil, shadow shaded, everything. And then I had a big zebra that I did, and I love them to the best. And
Well,
I don't think I have them anymore.
guess I'm gonna have to commission you to draw me something new.
But I guarantee you, if I go to my mom and dad's house, I can find the VHS to show you on the variety show with me singing Gary, Indiana, with a falsetto.
I need to see this.
I think you
need to
just
see
committed
this.
to doing that.
Yeah.
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 Well, you're going to see a chubby Paul.
I don't
That's
care.
all right.
About a 5'6" version of him with maybe a part down the middle, long hair.
Even better. I love the part.
Art was my favorite class in junior high too, and I was always drawing since I was like little bitty. My grandparents, they would even have like my drawings on their fridge, with the magnets. And I have a portfolio that I saved like from, junior high school too. I don't have every piece that I've ever done, but the ones that were like my favorites, I did keep those, and I still have them. I actually went through them the other day. But yeah, art was one of my favorite classes. And then I don't really know about like a worst one. I guess probably PE, because I was never really a sports kid, and at that time they would make you do all the things, whether you liked it or not. But I was good at badminton. I got like a doubles trophy for that.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool.
Badminton and pickleball were tits back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't
Oh, yeah.
do pickleball, but we had the badminton.
I
Yeah,
loved
pickleball.
I loved pickleball.
And all of a
would do
sudden, 25 years later, pickleball's like
it's like this big
the
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it until
senior
like
citizens
recently.
love that shit.
Sarah didn't either. Sarah's like, you played pickleball in gym? I'm like, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I rocked at it.
Yeah.
In
I didn't
winter,
even know what it was.
in winter, we would play literally, in high school, we would play from Thanksgiving all the way up until basically about now.
Oh, yeah.
We would play as long as we could.
Coach H would have that set up like a tournament style. It was a good time.
Oh yeah, and he'd be like, "Well, do you guys want to play hockey or do you want to play pickleball?" We're like, "Fuck hockey, we're playing pickleball."
See,
Let's get the
ours
courts
was
up.
speedball, and I don't know if anybody else played that, but our inside game, it was kind of like soccer.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, it was kind of like soccer, but there were points where you could use your hands. Like you could put the ball on your feet and like pop it up to yourself. But otherwise you had to use your feet the whole time. And there was like a goal on each end with the cones, and there was goalies, and there were, teams. And most of the time you're getting your shins kicked the whole time, because everybody's trying to get the ball and kick it to the goal. And but if you could pop it up with your feet, you could throw it to a teammate and keep it up like that. But if it dropped, then you couldn't,
Gotcha.
do that.
This sounds like something that Samantha talks about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what she called it, but she said some name that I'd never heard of, and I asked her how it played, and it sounds a lot like this.
Yeah, we always called it speedball. Our PE teacher in junior high, well, even in high school, same lady, she taught us how to play it, and that was our favorite. Like, we played it all the time.
Yeah, my reference that I've always heard about speedballs are totally different.
Yeah.
Well, not
Not what I was
that.
thinking about when I heard speedball.
You did that in school, Jesse?
In
No,
junior
I
high,
didn't.
even.
No, I
Wow. You're a rebel.
didn't. No.
So I realized I didn't give a worst, and I thought of
oh,
a good
yeah,
one.
go ahead.
So I'm gonna call where I was happy to say Mr. Peliquin. I'm just gonna call this one Mrs. R.
Mm-hmm.
And she was also a language arts teacher, but in the 8th grade and the 6th grade, both. Because anyway, and she just didn't like me, which is why it was such a horrible class. And this is why she didn't like me. This is one of the reasons why she didn't like me. We had an assignment to create our own myth. Okay? Write a
Okay.
myth. And I decided to write the myth of how stars came to be. Now, I'm maybe take things a little literally, and I created kind of a literal story, okay?
No way.
And so I thought to myself, okay, well, we're talking about lights in the sky, and you've got the sun is a great light, and you've got the moon is a great light. And so how did we get the little tiny stars? Well, they must be the kids of the sun and the moon.
Oh.
And so I wrote the story where I used the word sex. in junior high, and she got the vice principal involved. She called my mom.
Oh
She
my
threw
gosh.
a giant fit. My mom came from work, like she left work to find out because there's this huge deal. Got in and we had the. I got called to the office, and I have no idea what this is all about. Okay, my mom's in the room. I'm like, oh crap, what did I do? And she hears the whole thing, and my mom's like, that's it. You know, you got me out of work for this.
Yeah.
And
for
the
him talking about a natural thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But what a big pain in the ass that was. And and that's just one story, the best story of many.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
Did she lay into him?
Yeah.
You brought up
Yeah.
the whole thing about this presentation you gave or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to tell you
It's
something.
just a story. It wasn't even a presentation.
Okay, well, in high school, okay, so we had this assignment. You were talking about English class.
Yeah.
We had this assignment. It was a group project. There's three of us. It was me, my friend Adam, and Jared, and we just had to pick songs that meant something to us, right, and give a presentation and play part of the song. You know, Mrs. SS.
Yeah.
It was her class, and we had to give a presentation about this particular song, the group, and what it meant to us. And then we play a little clip from the next one and explain it. We did nothing. I literally got up there and I said something about what this song meant to me. And then I was like, this song's name is Silence. And I had Adam hit play on the tape recorder, and we just beat our heads to nothing. There was nothing there. We weren't playing anything. We just beat our heads to it. And then I said, okay, that's enough. And then I explained it. And I was like, this one's called Mute. He hit play, explained it after it was done. I don't know. There's like 3 or 4 songs of nothing. Absolutely nothing. We got a C for creativity.
I think
But
that's
I
great.
literally played nothing, and I said nothing about nothing. I just kept explaining how it made me feel and how it brought me inner peace and all this crap. How it was comforting me and soothing me.
Like hearing, like,
It,
okay,
it was just all about nothing. It was silence, mute, nothing.
all right, this has
It's
to be,
either genius or really ornery.
But I didn't get a failing grade. I didn't get like a lack of effort. I literally put no effort into it. None of us did. We showed up that day and said, hey, this is what we're going to do today. Let's make up some bullshit. We're going to play nothing. We're going to call it something, and we're going to roll with it. And we got good. We passed.
Oh
so
my gosh.
other,
But she was a cool teacher too.
yes. If you would have left that last little bit out of there, I think honestly, like, I would have been like, oh, like, I still think it's awesome. Like, sorry, I'm a little triggered because it's like, if a kid did that now, even with it, like, let's say like they planned it, like, we're gonna do this, and like they practice it, like everything that they wanted to say. If a kid did that now, they would get like probably an A because they'd be like,
because they
oh,
think it's the most
it's so
profound
progressive.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that, but like I was saying, like if you would have left out the part where like, oh, we kind of just threw this shit together half-ass, like,
Well, I mean, we planned to do this as a group, but
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
we didn't put effort into necessarily what I was going to say
Yeah.
about it. We just kind of coordinated that. Hey, we're going to call this song this and this song this. And I'm going to cue you to play the tape of nothing
well,
and stuff like that. And but as far as the things I replied with, I had that prepared.
well, I think
But we literally put 10 minutes of effort into this 3-week project.
regardless of your preparedness, in my eyes, like, I think that's really good. Like, I think you really should have gotten more than what you got, like, grade-wise, because that is pretty legit, because it did take some effort for you guys to plan that out and be like, we're going to do this.
Well,
I don't know what the fuck I'm going to say, but we gonna do this. Like,
Yeah, the first song, there was definitely some looks from around the room. And then the chuckles started.
then they caught on.
afterwards. Yeah.
And then everybody caught on.
Yeah.
And, of course,
And the teacher included.
yeah.
Thought it
and
was
then,
funny.
And then she got to probably, like, the 4th song, and she was like, you motherfuckers.
She's like, I couldn't. She basically
couldn't
said,
stop you.
I can't fail you because it was creative and it was entertaining
It was
and it
good.
was content.
I mean, for her class, I also I packed a grocery bag, and then I also made tacos for them, so they were really happy with me.
I slept a lot in that class.
Yeah, my cell phone would go off, and so the computer would go, and she'd always be like, "Whose cell phone's going off?" I'm like,
Not
right.
to mention, back when I was there, everybody had the hots for her.
yeah,
Are
whatever.
any of these teachers still teaching?
This one actually moved away like 8 years ago, 4 years. I don't know.
She's probably doing OnlyFans right now.
She's in Montana. That's all I know. But yeah, she probably does. If she was smart, she would probably have an OnlyFans because, I mean, well, we're not going to get into it. I don't like her for several reasons. So.
But not because of her OnlyFans page.
She was a cool, super friendly teacher.
She was too friendly. She was too involved with high school drama.
We also had a teacher like that.
To the point that, I mean, I'll put this
She
out there.
liked male students.
That's where I thought you were going with it.
Well, no, she did that, but she also keyed into gossip and rumors that supposedly I was gay. And she's like, oh, yeah, I could totally see that in him.
Oh.
And, like, she went along with
shouldn't
it.
comment on that.
Well, yeah.
at all.
And that,
Maybe
Well,
you didn't
she
show
also
her,
shouldn't have been banging her students.
you
so.
maybe not showed her enough. You didn't show her enough attention. That's what.
oh,
it
no,
was.
she got the attention because I marched over there the next day. Because I was in college when that story came out.
You're like, yeah, I'm right. That's an erection.
No, I marched over to her house and I told her to keep my name out of her mouth ever.
Did you slap her like Will Smith did to Chris Rock?
No, I didn't do that. I'm not gonna hit somebody. I'm not gonna hit her. That's what she wants. She wants the attention. So but
She'd probably like it.
she probably would.
She's
But I
a
just
We
freak.
said
had a
never again.
teacher in our school that was definitely having relations with a student, and everybody knew it.
Relations.
But she,
What do you mean by relations?
relations.
Oral?
Sex.
You said God, sex.
Sex. Lots of sex.
Anal sex.
But that's
Oh,
sex.
too far.
but that's illegal. That would be illegal.
Right? Yeah.
sex.
But so, and she gave everybody the heebie-jeebies anyway because, you couldn't really be a female in her class because she would treat you like crap because you weren't a male.
Oh, one of those.
And she would sit all of the males in the front row. And she was like a speech/English teacher. So she had this podium in the front of her room next to her desk with her stool.
Oh, this is naughty.
She would wear skirts every day. And I'm sure you can fill in the blanks of why the boys were all in the front row. And she's on her stool that sits higher than the desks with a skirt on. Yeah.
Sounds like
It was disgusting.
Every boy's dream.
Yeah,
It was disgusting. But
maybe.
she was not
I'm not
like-
I'm not into that.
good looking,
Not my
though.
thing.
Like,
She wasn't good
she
looking.
was okay, but like,
She was a
she-
hideous
her
monster.
hair was really thin and like
Balding?
bleach blonde. And she had an okay body, for an older lady, but she was an older lady. It wasn't like she was like in her 20s and 30s. She was already like close to 50s probably when this was all happening in my age group. It was so gross. Like, and everybody knew what was going on. Nobody was doing anything about it. And she had this one student that everybody knew that she was having a relationship with. Like, it was so weird.
Relations.
But small town life, nobody
Back in
does shit about it. So.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly.
She just aged like a fine wine. That's all.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but
Well, I mean, somebody did it, obviously.
I guess.
Well, it sounds like she borderline had alopecia. It sounds like.
it was.
She
was
can wear wigs.
pretty-
People wear
She
wigs
was
all the
not.
time.
She was not. It was pretty scraggly.
Teenage boys,
They don't care.
their standards are pretty low
Well,
for some.
I know
so.
a lot of the boys that were put in the front row
Really
in my
questionable?
class would were like trying to turn their head, like not to be in the eye line. Yeah, because it made them feel awkward too. So, yeah. It was,
Then, of course,
it was
if
bad.
they say something to their parents are like, oh, you're just blowing it out of proportion. It's probably not that bad.
Yeah, because like during that time, nobody believed shit. Like they wouldn't do anything about teachers doing that, students doing that. Like, no, that's nothing. They're not doing.
Oh, you brought
anything.
vodka to school in your
This-
water bottle?
Yeah.
So this is off topic, but I want to see what you guys think because I recently went to a training for law enforcement, right? And it wasn't just me. I was at a police academy with police academy students, and there was this really good speaker there. I'm not going to say his name, but he does have a really good book about. It's basically about preserving or helping with emotional support for law enforcement members and their families. So just based on that, you could find out who the author is. But real successful guy. He puts on a word on the screen. He says, "If I put this word up there, what is the first thing that comes to mind?" It was scout leader. Do you know what 95% of the people responded with? Pedophile.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. But that's the law enforcement perspective, because the people that law enforcement deal with aren't the good people, right? So even
Yeah.
if 95% of people are innocent, they only interact with the 5% that are bad. And those 5% are pedophiles, because they're the ones that interact and arrest and
Yeah, their
prosecute
perception is swayed. Yeah.
based on their experiences.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that strange? It's off topic, but I thought it was interesting based on what we were discussing.
I mean, we could go down a whole rabbit hole of that, because like
Yeah.
I already have another thing like that goes along with that, but we're not gonna go there.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah. So, what are things you appreciate as an adult that you couldn't as a kid?
Repeat that question.
What, like,
Could you put that in a sentence for me?
I did. I put it in a question. Things you appreciate now as an adult that you couldn't appreciate as a kid.
This is an easy one.
Yeah.
Go,
Um,
Kyle.
Naps.
Naps.
Oh,
Naps.
That's a good one.
When
I
I was
hadn't
a
even thought
kid,
of that.
Tucci.
Naps was like they were
The
a,
devil.
a punishment almost.
The enemy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And now, if I'm tired,
I
I
crave
can
that.
just go to sleep. And that's okay. In fact, that's good. Right? I think it took having kids to begin to appreciate the value of being well rested enough not to want to throw things or people out the window, right? And the difference between how I react when I am rested and how I react when I am not is so different. And
Yeah.
naps.
Yeah. That's a really good
I
one.
think that's something that I could get on board with, except the fact that if I come home to nap, because I feel like I appreciate those naps, my wife will be like, "Look at him over there resting," and then she wakes me up because she don't like it when I nap.
So
You need to introduce her to naps also.
Well, she says I don't like naps. I'll go to bed when it's bedtime.
Yeah.
But then
I'm that way too.
when she don't feel well, I'll be like, "Baby, go take a nap," and she'll go take a nap. But
So-
very rarely do my wife or kids allow me to take a nap.
I don't get very many of them, but I appreciate them when I get them.
Yeah, naps are good.
yeah,
Yeah,
I love me naps. I
I'm gonna take a nap tonight.
well, Casey hates the fact that I can nap, mainly because she's like, "Oh, I never get to nap." I'm like, "Well, you don't make yourself take a nap." She goes, "Yeah, I do." I'm like, "No, like put the kid down for his nap, and you can take a nap too." She goes, "Well," I was like, "No."
It's harder when the kids are younger.
yeah.
Well,
It
it's also
is.
harder when the umbilical cord's still attached, to put it lightly. But that's not really lightly. That's pretty direct. But whatever. But no, like naps. Oh gosh.
One day, Shane,
One day what?
you get all the naps you want.
Oh, I get all the naps I want. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you do
Yeah.
now?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I can go and nap and I can nap anywhere in the house. Like if I lay down on the couch, I will fall asleep. And I'm also really good at taking good hard power cat naps. Like I can set a timer for 40 minutes, fall asleep for those 40 minutes, wake up, bang,
Like
rejuvenated.
if
Brand new
It
day.
doesn't work like that for me. That's why I'm like Kate. I don't like taking naps. Like I will if I'm just completely
Or
exhausted.
don't feel well.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
don't feel well. But I always regret it when I do. Even if it's something where I'm not, if I'm feeling fine and I end up taking a nap because I get sucked into it, I don't feel good afterward. Like it gives my head this like swimmy feeling, and it gives me like a headache. And then I just feel groggy like the rest of the day.
So, like, weirdly enough, like I've actually like listened to other podcasts and other like Instagram reels that talk about napping, like how it should be done. And if that's what you're feeling, it's typically because you're napping too long. So they say is like the ideal napping time frame is 40 minutes to 60 minutes. Anything beyond that, you run the like if you do less, it's not really doing anything for you. If you do more, you're running the risk of like exactly what you're feeling like, oh, like this has worn me out.
Because you never fall in the REM.
Yeah. And that's why they like the 40 to 60 minutes is perfect because it gives you the chance for your body to reset, rebalance itself, but also for you to release some tension, and then you can come back rejuvenated. And that's why I typically set my alarm for like 45 minutes or like only like up to an hour. Okay, I might only sleep for actually 10 minutes. I'll just lay there in silence for 50 minutes, but that's still relaxing. That's still quote unquote napping.
I swear last year when we were watching the Chiefs game at Darren's house, dude, you said, well, I can sleep anywhere. You literally fell asleep for at least 10 times, only for 2 to 3 minute cycles. And I swear that's fact.
Yeah.
He'd be like, I'm good, man. I can sleep anywhere. And he'd just wake up and go right back to the game. You know,
Yeah.
when
And I don't know how, but like I can do that. And it's crazy because then recently I took a 2-hour nap and I woke up and I was pissed off at the world. Like I woke up and in case he was like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm taking the dogs out. Don't talk to me. I'm freaking tired. Leave me alone. And like the next morning I was like, I'm sorry. I just woken up from a 2-hour nap. I fell asleep at 6. I woke up at 8. I stayed awake till 10:30 and then I went back to sleep. And I like and it's because I went beyond my 1 hour.
Yeah, nowadays, if I want to nap, I basically do like an Irish goodbye. I'm like, hey, I got to use a restroom. And that's code. I'm going to the bathroom, but then I'm not coming back. I'm going to lay down in that bed, and in 20 minutes are going to go by, and somebody's like, where's Dad? Where's Paul? You know? And then they come and find me, and they're like, get the fuck up, you're lazy. And then I get up.
Yeah, Paul's right. Me sleeping during weird moments. Are
Joel
great.
can do that too. He can pretty much nap.
He used to do it
anywhere,
at
Yeah, but
work.
he's
He would
also-
just go on a break,
Yeah.
and I'd find him in the break room.
Yeah.
Just sleep in the little rocking chair, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, are you? It's not even like his lunch. It's like a 15-minute break, and he'll
Uh-huh.
just
And it's like a light, like a switch. He can just turn it on, and he's
Yeah.
yeah. It does
passed
take me
out,
a while
and then he
to
can get
sometime
back
to
up,
fall
and he's
asleep,
like, I
but
feel great, you know.
It would take me longer to fall asleep than I'd actually get to sleep.
Dude, same.
for me, it's not. I can't just go like I'm gonna go take a nap because I'll have that issue. But if I'm just sitting in a chair or like I'm not
Occupying your
doing
mind doing
anything.
something else,
Right.
probably.
right, like something's on TV. I don't know, and I just get I'll just feel like I get drowsy. I'm just gonna let it go, and I'll just fall asleep.
Trances you.
and that is helpful. I can't go lay down to take a nap usually because I have the same issue as I have at night.
Same.
My brain starts going, and so
If I do nap, I nap better on the couch
yeah,
than like if I went to actually go lay in the bed, because in the bed, that's nighttime sleep mode for me. Like that just makes me feel like I should just be sleeping all night long. So if I take a nap like on the couch when I actually do, it's the only place it really works.
and mostly what the nap does that's good for me is when I don't get enough sleep at night. And so that's my second answer is getting a full good night's sleep.
That's what you appreciate now.
That I appreciate now. Because when I was a kid, it was rebellious to stay up. My kids now are the same way. I can be in my room, but I will be awake because that's the time that I can do whatever I want, basically, because everyone else is asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it felt like I was winning if I stayed up as late as possible. Now it feels like I'm winning if I can get at least 7 hours of sleep because there's a lot of stressors I deal with during the day sometimes, and I can just handle them better if I get a good night's sleep. And if I don't, then, I work with some people that can make me feel pretty shitty, and I feel worse if I don't have enough sleep than I do if I do have enough sleep.
And you know what's weird is like, as now that I'm in my 40s, I realize it probably started in my mid 30s, but because you know the stressors and the things you face the next day, you don't want to go to sleep because you don't want to face the next day like right now, right?
Yeah.
You want to extend your time alone or doing things you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So then I find myself a lot of times sleeping less during the week than I do on the weekend. On the weekend, I can go to bed at a decent hour unless we have other engagements like this or something else. And I'll go to bed at 10 o'clock and I'll sleep till 8 o'clock. Because I'm not worried about that. And I do fall asleep easier on the weekends than I do during the week. Because during the week, you just had a long day. The stress adds up. Wheels start spinning like we talked about. And it takes me longer to fall asleep. Even if I lay down at 10:30, I'm awake till midnight,
That's how I am
Yeah.
too.
So I find it easier to sleep when I don't work the next day than it is to fall asleep when I do work the next day.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I got to get up at 5. But
I've been finding that has switched for me because I had that mindset too whenever the kids were younger and I was doing all the running and, you know, the dinners and all the things that younger kids require, and feeling like I need to stay up later so I can have my me time, because I was doing all the things for everybody
sure.
else. But now that my kids are older and they don't require anything really from me,
you get all the me
I
time
have
you need.
all the time, yeah. So it gets to a certain point at night where I'm like, okay, well, it's like 10:30, 11. I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm tired, ready to go. So
It does make
it's
a huge
it's
difference.
a shift, yeah. Like it's weird how I would stay up till like midnight, when the kids were younger, and then just to have some time that was mine.
Yeah, I just always, like, man, I hope prison's good tomorrow. I hope we're not on lockdown tomorrow.
Yeah,
I hope everything runs smooth tomorrow.
worry about all the things.
Just, I hope I have a good day, a day that's not overwhelming with chaos, because we do tend to see that on a regular basis. But yeah, I sleep more on the weekend than I do during the week. I'd like to move on to what Shane.
Yeah, I want to hear what Shane.
Yeah, I was
His
actually
opinion.
getting ready to try to, keep it going.
Uh-huh.
So I have two. One's really brief. It kind of goes along with what Kyle said about naps, but like I have come to appreciate as an adult more having like, not everybody has it, but for me, I do now. Like I have a set time that I wake up every morning. I wake up every morning 6:15 a.m. Doesn't matter if it's a school day, a work day, vacation day. I will be up at 6:15. My responsibility is to get the dogs out first thing in the morning, and I'm okay with that. I love it. It's time for me to just wake up. I'm able to do my morning scrolling on my phone, but also at the same time, it's me getting up. Like tomorrow, I'm going to be getting up early, and I got yard work I got to get done because I got to get stuff ready for the day, the cleanup day in town whenever they come by and grab all my trash. So I got to get stuff done for that.
Let me interject for a second. Let me know when that is so I can dump some shit off at your house.
Monday.
Monday.
Okay.
So yeah, you can come and drop it off.
I'm going
That's
to
fine.
dump some shit off at your house.
That's fine. Go right ahead.
There's a big pile at my house too. If you want to spread out.
Okay.
You could probably throw some in front of Joel and Jesse's house too.
Yeah,
They'd be fine
our
with that too.
corner would be fine.
Sounds
Okay,
great.
but just I need to just.
I'll
say
invite
this.
my family and friends too, okay?
Yes, please do.
I just need to say this. I just need to say this for official sake. It is only open to official Greenville residents. And I'm just saying that right out loud. So
Copy that. These guys are Greenville residents, so I feel
I am
comfortable.
absolutely
Yeah.
a resident. So
what you're going to do is gift us your stuff.
Mhm.
yes, you're
And-
giving
Yeah,
it to
he's
and
me.
then
giving it
you're
to
going to go
us.
through it and decide
Uh-huh.
you don't want any. of
Yeah,
it.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. I'll double check it. You never know.
Yeah.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's right.
But mine goes out on Monday. I don't know where your trash days are. But
I think mine's Monday too.
I think we should get off the sleep topic and move on to your opinion, Shane, about what you appreciate now that you didn't
Well,
appreciate.
like I said, I had two. So one was the waking up in the morning because I'm able to get more stuff done now. Like I get up on the morning on the weekends, I get all my shit done Saturday morning. I have nothing to fucking do the rest of the weekend. While Casey will sleep in till 10, and she won't get it all done Saturday. So then it falls into Sunday, and she's like, why is all your stuff done? Well, I got up in the fucking morning and I got it taken care of. Anyway, the other thing is vacations. Vacations are huge for me now. And it's probably because I carry more stress than I did whenever I was a kid. But also, it's a chance to really, unplug. Like, I typically, like, whenever we go to Colorado, yes, I would have signal, like, in town. But whenever I went into the national park, no signal. So I wouldn't even bring my phone. I'd bring my phone with me just so I could take pictures. But it wasn't even just, like, the fact that, like, I was taking pictures. But vacation became more of a relaxer, but also a chance for me to connect with my family again. Like I'm probably gonna get a little emotional right now, because I don't get to see my family and as much as I would like to. They live in Rhode Island, so spending a week with them was pretty amazing. Like climbing mountains with them. Like I had COVID one year, and I just got over it. And we went up to Colorado, and I was like, guys, I want to do this hike, but I don't think I can do it. Like, we can do it. Take as many breaks as you need. We know you just got over COVID. And I'm like a hike that should only take us an hour took us 3 hours because I just physically couldn't do it. They're like, you're good, Uncle Shane. My nephews were there the whole time, like pushing me. And yes, we had celebratory beers at the top whenever we got there, so that was cool. But at the same time, like, it was just the little things, I guess, like that go along with vacations. Like, we would walk uptown every night and get ice cream. And just those walks with my sister and my brother to go go do that. Like, just little bullshit conversations we had. It was just those little things. Like, as a kid, I never appreciated it. And I was just like, you're my brother, you're my sister, get away from me, you're annoying me. Or actually, I was the one doing the annoying because I was the youngest. But, like, now, like, I look forward to it. I'm going on vacation in June with my brother. We're going down to Florida, and it's just going to be a week with me and his sons. It's going to be freaking amazing because I'm going to be spending the week with them.
That's awesome.
So,
Well, I've got 3 different things I like to.
oh,
Yeah, to appreciate that.
Jesse, you better have 4.
Didn't appreciate when I was
I
younger.
better up the
Okay.
ante.
Well, this wasn't planned, but I mean, like the things I appreciate now. The first one's kind of superficial, or that's the best way I can describe it. You know, what I mean, like I enjoy my financial freedom these days because I grew up broke, like a lot of us in this room, and my family didn't have a whole lot of money. You couldn't just go out to eat when your kids wanted to go out to eat and things like that. I like being able to provide for my family, and if they want to go out to eat, we can go out to eat. If they want to go to a movie, we can go to a movie. We go on vacations. I never went on a vacation outside of Six Flags when I was growing up. So I've gotten to enjoy a lot of vacations with my family and my friends that I would never have got to enjoy when I was a kid. The second thing is I appreciate having a group of friends that hang out regularly. When I was a kid, we hung out. I had friends, but now I have adult friends and friendships. You guys in this room, we all get to spend a lot of time together. We're doing this. We do fantasy football. We've played poker for years. Spend time together on a regular basis, and it's been a lasting relationship for over a decade. You know what I mean? What, 14, 15 years now?
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. Well, no, it's longer than that.
13 years. Because Joel and I are
2010
15.
or 11?
Yeah, Joel and I have been together for 15 years
Okay.
this year.
But
So,
you're
yeah,
family now,
13
you know what I
years.
mean? And
Yeah,
we do everything
of course.
together on a regular basis.
Family.
The third thing is I would never said this 10 years ago. My newfound desire to collect Pokemon cards. And that's
I wonder who started
that's
that for you.
you know, I thank my friend Joel for getting me into that. And if anybody's interested, you can find him at UncleJolteon.com. He'll sell you some cards.
Shameless plug, but I
You
love
can
it.
watch him on Twitch if you're interested and subscribe. But we
Same
thank
name,
him for that.
Uncle Jolteon.
UncleJolteon.com. I never thought I'd be interested in Pokemon cards. I watched the show when I was growing up as a kid, and now it's like, damn, I'm obsessed. But then there goes my financial freedom because I'm spending all my damn money on Pokemon cards. You know? So now I'm like, I could have a new truck, or I could buy Pokemon cards this month. That's where it's going.
Who
And,
needs
and
money?
you pick the Pokemon cards every time.
All right, well, so far, I keep telling Kitty, I promise, babe, I'm going to cut back. I'm going to cut back this month.
But
no.
then Shane tries to win on the
And then I'm like-
points, and you're like, no, 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 no.
And I'm
no.
like, no, I just need 2 more packs, babe. Just 2 more packs.
I just got to rip 2 more.
Just let me rip 2 more, babe. I'll call it a night.
I will say I
I'm a freaking Pokemon junkie now, man.
I put an allowance on myself Like I'm only allowed X amount of dollars per week because there was a time I spent way too much.
Oh, I know. When you guys are making your store stops by Kyle's and you buy
I'm not.
ATVs. And
Anyway,
you were.
Jesse has 4 now.
Okay, 4 thankful
God.
things, Jesse. UncleJolteon.com.
Yeah.
Is UncleJolteon.com on your list?
Well, I didn't know Uncle Jolteon as a kid, but I do appreciate him.
You don't have to do 4. We're just trying to, mess with you.
No, you guys mentioned a lot of the ones that are really good examples. The napping is a great one, if I can actually do it successfully. And the time with family, vacations, those are all really good ones too. The one I was thinking of originally, though, was appreciating where I grew up at, because I have more of an appreciation for that now than I definitely did as a kid, because as a kid, growing up in the literal woods of the Shawnee National Forest, where there's nothing to do but like camp, fish,
My kind of stuff.
hike, yeah, all those things. As a kid, that's not fun. I mean, we had fun, like doing the camping and the fishing and
Yeah.
all that. I wouldn't say that, but the other things that you see, like on TV, like people do it in towns where, all the movies and the roller skating and the, which we got to do some of that very limited, but just having normal like town activities, like we didn't have that. But the beauty of the forest, I guess, is really what I'm getting at, because growing up in a really beautiful place, I did not get it. I didn't appreciate it then. It was boring. There was nothing to do, and I couldn't wait to get out of it. And now whenever I go back, it's like, gosh, it's so pretty here, like the fall leaves whenever they're turning, like it's gorgeous, and I love, camping and fishing and all that stuff still.
Yeah.
But it feels different, now as an adult than it did as a kid. So that was my thought. on
No,
that.
yeah, I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause I would say like I agree to that purely also because like going on vacations, like as a kid and growing up in California, we did a lot of vacations like in the national parks, and I never really appreciated it. But now that we have done vacations in Colorado and I got to also share that with my family, like I appreciated it. Like you said, like it's exponentially better because you're like, oh wow. As my brother puts it, whenever we land in Denver, it's always just like, as soon as you get out of the city, like we immediately roll down the windows and he says, guys, this is your chance. Breathe in as much of this fresh, free air as you can, because as soon as you come down from these mountains, you're going to have air that, that's going to pollute you and have toxins. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So
I like that. That topic was good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
UncleJolteon.com.
Yeah.
for all your Pokemon needs.
This is not a paid advertisement.
Not yet, at least.
But it can be.
Follow him on Twitch.